everybody, and welcome back to the Cleaning Lady podcast. Sorry, I wasn't here last week. I actually got a little bit tipsy. I recorded the whole episode, and I've had such a busy couple of weeks because it's just summer holidays, and I've had a couple of the girls off on holiday. So yeah, I was absolutely frazzled, and I sent my husband over to get me a bottle of wine, and I I very rarely drink, and I mean, I thought I was sober. I think I only had a couple of glasses. And I wasn't drunk as such. But anyway, I recorded the episode with a drink in hand. And when I went to edit it, you could really tell I was really I don't know. I just sounded like I was slurring my speech just slightly. So yeah, that had to go in the bin. Anyways, I hope you've had a really good week, everyone. I am so glad it's Friday. I'm not going to have a drink before I record this podcast, but maybe I'll have a cup of tea and a bath. I don't know. I need to relax. I've had such a busy few weeks actually. Like I say, I've had people on holiday, and then one of my other girls was off sick because she had a toothache. And yeah, it's been all go. So I've been working crazy hours, like 8-9 hour days every day, then coming home and doing all my admin. So yeah, it's been a very busy one. Anyway, so yes, my lovely girl Hannah, who I've spoken quite a lot about her the last couple of weeks. She does get about, does our Hannah. So she went back home to the Czech Republic for a couple of weeks, nearly 3 weeks actually. And I'm so glad because she comes back on Monday. Yay! So yes, very happy about that. So one of her clients arranged directly with Hannah that she was going to do 1.5 hours a week instead of 2 hours a fortnight. Now, our minimum is 2 hours a fortnight because it is impossible really to do a house, not a flat, but a house in 2 hours, in 1.5 hours, like properly. Anyway, from my last messages with Hannah about this lady's house, she said to me that she wouldn't get round to doing the whole house. So, as I already knew this, I contacted the client and I said, "What's the list of instructions, boss? Because we're only doing 1.5 hours now." Which is not what we usually do. Anyways, I'll let her off because I like her. Anyway, she sent a message back and she said, "The whole house, but also can you remove the rust that's in the bathroom behind the radiator, do the shower trap?" And there was a couple of other things that she wanted. And I just said, look, maybe if I just asked Larissa, the cover cleaner, to just prioritise the kitchen, the bathroom and the downstairs, because I don't think we're going to get round to doing the whole house and the extra bits in 1.5 hours. And she just said, "Oh, well, I haven't got much stuff in the lounge and I haven't got much stuff here and only needs a quick dust and a quick hoover." But when you're cleaning professionally, you can't just do a quick dust and a quick hoover because it still needs to be hoovered. And it's like when people say that they've been away for half the week, so the whole house doesn't need to be done. And can they do these extra bits instead? But they've still used all those rooms, so you still have to clean everything as you normally would. Actually, this happened to me as well. One of my clients was away last week, and she said exactly this. She sent me a message and said, "We've been on holiday. You can come any day you like this week, and we've only been there half the week. So instead of a normal clean, can you clean out the fridge and change all the beds?" So yeah, that's absolutely fine, I said. Anyway, get there. A big shit greeted me as I got in there. There was a shit in the toilet. The toilet was blocked anyway, so I had to do that, which took 20 minutes. And then, yeah, changing the beds, absolutely fine. One of those beds, though, was a bit of a bugger because it was one of those cabin beds. You know, the beds with the kind of on stilts, and then underneath they've got all the, like either a little sofa or chest of drawers and all that kind of thing. That took me about bloody half an hour to change this kid's bed. Anyway, so I did that. Then there was a little bit of washing up. But the shower still needed to be de-lime scaled. Everything still needed to be done. Another couple of things that happened this week was inquiries. And the first one was, which really keeps with this theme of asking us to do a proper professional clean, but not giving us the time, not paying for the time that it's going to take. So, so I got an email from a lady She said that she wanted to get a new cleaner because they weren't happy with her current cleaner. And she said, we've got a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house and we want 2 hours a fortnight. Can we have a trial clean next Friday? And sorry. So, no, 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 no. No, you can't. You can't have, oh my God, no. No, no, no. You cannot have a thorough, proper, professional clean of a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in 2 hours. What planet are you on? Of course she's not going to be happy with her current cleaner. Her current cleaner is probably rushing around, cutting corners and and then to ask for a bloody trial. Like, a trial. We're a company. This really gets my goat up, honestly. We are a company, okay? We've got over 40 cleaners on the books. So if somebody's unhappy with one cleaner, then we will just give them another cleaner. You can try all 40 if you want, but you will always get really, really good service from us. Years ago, I had one complaint. They said there was nothing in particular that they could put their finger on, but it just didn't feel. So I went and did the clean the next week. And do you know what? There was nothing wrong. The skirting boards were spotless. The light switches, the door panels, like everything, like all in the little nooks and crannies. The places where you would expect there to be a build-up, there was none of that. And I had to say to the cleaner, look, I'm really sorry, they've complained. I've been to the house and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And all I could think of was that it was really hot weather and they had all their windows open. And I just thought, well, maybe there's just a bit more dust than usual. Who knows? And also you have people where they'll say that one cleaner's really thorough and then another person will say about that exact same cleaner, she's not very thorough. So it really is trying to find that perfect match between the client and the cleaner. So yeah, anyway, a trial is not going to be representative of the service that you will get. Because if you're having a trial, I always do the very first clean because I like to get everything up to a good standard. And, no one's as good as me. So no, of course they are. Some of my girls are better than me. But, I might do the clean. They might be really impressed with me. And then the regular person goes to clean and they might not like them. So a first clean is not representative of what you're going to get. And they might be disappointed, they might be really happy. And just to base it on one person from that company and one clean, it's not going to work. If I was a self-employed cleaner working on my own, I put an advert out on Gumtree or Facebook or wherever, fine, trial me. Because what you see on that clean is what you're going to get going forward. Do you know what I mean? An independent private cleaner is going to be completely different. You're trialing that person. But if you're trialing a company and you've got over 40 cleaners working for you, then the company is going to sort anything out if you have any issues at all down the road. And if you are ever unhappy with that cleaner, then we'll just give you another one. But then also, with this person who wanted 2 hours a fortnight for a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, that's not happening, love. And we're unlikely to have passed this trial clean based on the fact that she had 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it was a house, and they want 2 hours a fortnight. Shall I just get my magic wand out now? Yeah. So there was that. And it's funny, isn't it, how people just expect you to do so much in the time. And these people, they're not cleaners. They don't know. They say, it only needs a quick dust. It only needs a quick hoover. There's no such thing. One lady said, it just needed a light vac. No, there's no such thing as a light vac. You vacuum or you don't vacuum. There's no such thing as a light vac. Anyway, so the person that requested the trial clean, who had the 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, I just told him a little white lie and I just said, sorry, we haven't got any availability, because I haven't got any availability for people like that. So I wasn't lying, really. I got another inquiry and it was a guy who wanted another 2 hours a fortnight guy. And it's funny when you get these initial email inquiries and you just think, my God, they're going to be an absolute nightmare before you've even met them. But anyway, this guy asked me about washing up and he said, do you do washing up? And I said, no, it's not really something we do. Happy to, wash up a couple of cups or whatever, but we wouldn't want to do mountains of washing up, pots, pans, and last week's dinner even, because that's happened to us before. And then he came back to me a couple of days later and he said, well, if I could pay a bit more, would anyone be willing to do the washing up? Because he said, I haven't got time. And I just said, look, I am really sorry, but it's not a service that we offer. And he came back to me again and he asked me again. And I had to put my foot down. I say, look, it's not a service a lot of companies offer because we're there to clean and we're not there to do your washing up kind of thing. Anyway, he said, okay. He said, can you change my bed? And I was like, yeah, absolutely fine. I said, we'll do the bathroom, the kitchen, hoovering, dusting, change beds. Absolutely fine. And he said, okay, can you come over to meet me? So went over to meet him. Oh my God, he was the nicest man I've ever met in my life, other than my husband. I'd probably marry him, but, he's gay and I'm married already, so that's not going to work. But anyway, and he doesn't do his washing up either, so no, that's not going to happen. But he was such a lovely, lovely, lovely guy. Got on so well. Like, he loves cats. I love cats. Anyway, we were just talking for about an hour, I think I was there, just chatting. And I said to him afterwards, I really wish that I had capacity in my schedule and clean for you myself. But unfortunately, I haven't. Hannah again is going to look after him. And then I had another lady who I cleaned for, did her first clean. And she was absolutely lovely as well. Absolutely delightful, seriously. But she was so embarrassed because she hasn't had a cleaner for years. And she's not really able to clean her own house. And she was really embarrassed. And my eyes were just lighting up when I was seeing all this mold and limescale, because I love all of that. Like, I'm a bathroom girl. I love cleaning bathrooms. The dirtier, the better. As long as there's no poo, I'm happy to do a bathroom. So yeah, I cracked on. She had like an inch thick layer of dust on every surface and I was just having a great time. And I love doing that and I love making a difference, and people are just so happy and relieved after you've been, because I think if you've got a clean and tidy house, then you've got that headspace back. Actually, I'm just looking at my room that I'm recording this in and I've just got crap everywhere. I really need to look after my own house. But yes. And then I did promise last time that I would talk a little bit about the things that we find. But to be honest, it's not that exciting as a cleaner because you do see things all the time. People always leave their vibrators about. So it's not an unusual, shocking thing to a cleaner. You just kind of think, oh, God, they've left their vibrator out. If they've left it on the bedside table and you put it away for them in their drawer, they're going to know that you've done that. Or are they? I don't know. But then if you don't put it away, they're going to be really embarrassed because they're going to know that you've seen it. So that's a tricky one. I think the oddest thing that I've ever seen was a cast of somebody's vulva in their in their bedroom. And it was just like this cast. I mean, why? Oh, God, I don't know that I could. Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't even go and have a wax. But can you imagine, like, going there, yeah, no. And then having it on display in your bedroom. So that was really weird. And one of my other girls found a butt plug in somebody's bathroom next to the toothbrushes in their ensuite. Literally a butt plug next to the toothbrushes, like almost touching the toothbrushes. I mean, that is just so grim, isn't it? But what prompted me to talk about this was one of my cleaners, Rebecca, who is no longer with me actually, but she's moved to Paris, and she sent me a message a couple of weeks ago just saying that this new client that she was cleaning for had left an invitation to a swingers party, and it was on display in their hallway table, and the swingers party was going to be at the house that weekend. So Yeah, I bet she was looking forward to changing all those beds the next time she went. But it put poor Rebecca, she has had a few issues in the past because one of her clients, she was cleaning for them for a little while. When she first started, it was just a single lady there on her own. All fine. But then she got a lodger in. And every time Rebecca went to clean, this lodger would start shagging his other half and they would just make as much noise as possible. And she just said it was so embarrassing. And she said to me, I'm a house cleaner, not a motel cleaner. But the worst thing was that after they'd finished, they would leave the flat. And so she'd go in and clean his room, and there would just be sex toys all over the floor. And she said, I'm not here to pick up all their sex toys and I don't want to clean here anymore. So I had to send the most embarrassing email ever to a client. And I had to say, look, I am so sorry to tell you this. Rebecca doesn't want to continue cleaning anymore. And I said, this is a really embarrassing email to write to you, but I just want to let you know it's nothing to do with you, but it's your lodger. And then I had to sort of say what the issue was and about all the sex toys all over the floor and stuff. And yeah, but she was so nice and she took it really well. And she said she just apologized and said that she'd had issues with this lodger and she was probably going to give him notice. So that was that. Right, that's all I've got time for, actually. I've got to go and make dinner and probably get a bottle of wine as it's Friday. Oh no, I said I was going to have a cup of tea, didn't I, and a bath. So I'll do that instead. I'll take the healthy option. Right, have a lovely couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm going to be here next week or the week after. It just depends on how busy I am with my cleaning business. Actually, no, it will be the week after because it's my son's 17th birthday. So I will be taking him out for the day. So I will be back in 2 weeks. So until then, happy cleaning and have a great couple of weeks.